Rwanda is honored to host the next African Nations Championship. We are going to have a great championship to remind us that sport is a teacher of values, focus, sacrifice, humility, teamwork, and honesty. Champions work hand in hand and work hard, and they don't give up. But champions also have a big heart. No sport brings people in every corner of the world together like football does. Football belongs to everybody equally. Its rules and values are universal. That is why the players and everyone else involved are expected to be role models of excellence and sportsmanship. Let's give the fans what they expect and deserve.
Mr. President, there has been predictions, after the genocide, what will happen to Rwanda, that Rwanda will be stuck in the past, they will be stuck in the vicious cycle of violence. But here we are, 17 years on. This country clearly has moved forward. And I think what most people would want to understand is why and how this country recover, way better than other countries who are equally caught up in wars in the past.
Yes, we have made very good progress in the recovery, and it is true. There were those predictions. There were people who could see nothing better than a failed state in Rwanda. Well, unfortunately, even irrespective of the facts, some people still have negative views about our growth. Good progress has been made, and happily, it has been made because of the people of Rwanda. The people of my country are resilient people, are people who have learned a lot of lessons from our history, from all that has happened that tore this country apart. It was very tragic, as tragic as you can have it. And yes, the only way to go was forward. We had sunk so low that it couldn't have gone lower.
Not at all.
The only way is now to come up, and that's how we've managed together with the people of this country. Everybody understood this, that after all, what tore apart this country originated from ourselves. It happened because of bad politics, because of bad leadership. If we changed that, we could have different results. So we had to start by encouraging our people to have confidence, to see themselves as people who can bring the change we need, even if we have to build on the support of others, and we have received huge support from others. But that is just really support. In the end, if the people of a country like ourselves don't feel that it is our responsibility to make the change we need, then it won't happen. It doesn't matter how much money or support or, cheering that, from outside, nothing will happen unless we take the lead and own the process and do what is proper for us to make the progress we need.
But you can't deny the fact that leadership has played a role. In fact, I interviewed one of your ministers. He said every ship needs a good captain. How did you become that good captain?
Well, to be honest, I will say I don't know, but I'm happy to be seen as a good captain by my people and by others who appreciate what progress there is in our country. What I am is not unique to me. I'm sure many others can be the same or can do the same. The point you are making is leadership is key. There is no disputing that. I would also say the same. In fact, leadership probably makes the whole big difference.
I remember you actually talking to the boys just now. You did mention something about self-discipline. Could that also be something that other African leaders are lacking?
Self-discipline and discipline generally is important, and it has a lot to do with whether leadership will end up being good or bad. And all that has to be supported by a vision. You must have goals. You must be clear about what the problem is and what it takes to deal with the problem.
So what can these boys learn from your captaincy?
Well, a number of things. You have to have a good management team,
Yeah.
a good coach, and above all, a good team.
Indeed.
So one thing connects with the other, and at the same time, discipline helps to maximize the capacity of the team to get to the good results. And you should push them. Hard, because people will even have good talent, but if they don't exercise discipline, it will be wasted. It's what I tell my own other people. Put your thought into it, put your energy into it, do it the best way you can. It's good for you. Above all, it's also good for others that you live with or in the society where you live. And how good it is will very much strengthen how good you are.
Indeed. It sounds like you're taking football straight away to government, and you can see the same similarities. But I will stick with football for now, and since we're talking about the boys, I know you are a huge football fan, but sadly, although you're supporting the wrong team in the UK, a weak team, Arsenal, I wish... Welcome to Manchester United.
Okay. I'm still sticking with Arsenal, but...
Come on, your wife, your son, they're there, so
yes.
Welcome.
I think that it's good to have a divided family on that.
But I mean, I guess the question I want to ask here is that why is it that you're so passionate about developing a strong football team?
It's one place, it's one gathering of people that will go beyond all kinds of divide. You know, there's something specific to sport, but it goes beyond sport.
Indeed.
And connects with many other aspects of life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what race, it doesn't matter what tribe or region or color or, you know, it's sport. You are all together yeah. And you all want to win.
Yeah.
And you want to win in a spirit of competition. The one you are playing with, the other team that you want to overcome and win over, is not your enemy, just an opponent. Yeah. You know, you approach it like you want to win, they want to win. In the end, whoever wins, you part, you know, not as enemies. It's very interesting. So we support football, volleyball, basketball, and tennis. It brings in young people playing different kinds of sport. It brings in the minds of the other people who are not playing.
Yeah.
the spectators, the fans, and everybody. It's a point where there is a rallying of everybody to something of a common, cause and common good, and so you end up benefiting from the sport per se, but you even end up benefiting beyond sport. So that's how I strongly come to be connected with the sport and with the football in particular. Through it, it is an expression of the nation. Yes, rallying people together for a good cause, and through that for other causes as well.
But given what you just said, Mr. President, what would you say this nation can learn from sports in general?
Team spirit, working together for a common good, and bringing different talents together to win together. From sport, there is that you learn. There is unity of purpose, and it also elevates the image of a nation beyond sport, really.
And what would you say is the vision for Rwanda's future, and what role will youngsters like this have to play?
We want to keep having young people follow in the footsteps of those who are older than them. Last year we had the under-17. So tomorrow they have developed into under-20, they still play. So there is that flow of effort and energy into success, whether of sport, and I always want to take it beyond sport to anything else.
And is there space in this vision for the old and the not so educated?
Oh yes, it brings in all kinds of people. Yes, but we want to make sure that actually we reduce on the numbers of the uneducated. We are always trying our best in the investments we make as a country to make sure that everybody gets education and everybody is able to realize their talent in different ways and be able to achieve what they can achieve, not for themselves, but also bring all this together into what the country can achieve.
Mr. President, as an African, I cannot sit here and tell you that I'm not worried about sustainability, about continuity, because this is one thing that I have seen in one of the people that I admire. You are one, and Jerry Rawlings, when he was in control, is another one. But when Rawlings left, there has been a bit of problems here and there. And, I cannot sit here and not worry about the future of Rwanda. When someday you decide I'm going, what would you say will be the challenges of Rwanda in the future?
There will always be challenges. Even today we are dealing with a lot of challenges. And there will be that day. And I definitely think about that. The best way that can be answered is the kinds of investments we are making today in people, in building institutions, strong institutions, in making sure that what we are investing in today and what we are doing today actually increases the potential to produce as many people as could possibly carry on with what has been achieved in the
Absolutely.
past. This is the thinking, and the action is already happening. But for sure, I cannot sit here and claim that I know nothing will go wrong, there is so and so who will come and do this. And no, I generally believe that will happen. But I cannot point to how exactly it is going to happen with somebody else. Maybe it will happen better than it has been in my case. Or it will be worse. And that one, there are no guarantees that things can't go wrong. But with continued strengthening and building of institutions and continued exposure of our young people, talented people, through education, through other possibilities, I think somebody will step out from this group at some point and do as good a job as any of us has been doing.
What would you say your government, or as the captain, you need to deliver to the people?
What I need to deliver to our people, first of all, the confidence in themselves. There is no problem that is insurmountable. And our history has proved that. Now, it will need leaders to lead them through this. And I think by now they know the kinds of leaders they need. They should be able to select good leaders for themselves and to also hold them accountable and make sure that that's how it goes for a long time. We want for our people prosperity. Why have other people achieved prosperity? I always ask myself, and I always ask my fellow Rwandans, if world over we have all these wealthy countries setting the standards, I said, how have they come to that? What is it that would stop us achieving that as well? The other day, they invited me to talk to people at a prayer breakfast, and I was telling these good Christians that what is being a good Christian? It's not how much you recite the Bible, it's not how much you repeat to people what good people need to do. It's also about you doing it.
Indeed.
Yes, how much do you exercise what you know is right for you to do, and that is good for others as well. How much do you do it in the real sense?
Indeed.
Other than just talking about it. So I'm telling our people here that, one, we need to know our problem. Two, based on the self-confidence that we can achieve many things, we need to get going and doing the things we need to do for ourselves and be able to achieve what we want to achieve. And there is nothing lacking. Well, means, there are less means than we actually need to do that, but that's not the issue. I'm always worried more about the thinking, the ideology, the things you are ready to do or not to do in order to achieve certain things, other than just the means, because some people have means and they just end up wasting it. And in fact, building on that, I told the same people, because there is this issue of resource curse that is always talked about. And they're saying, well, for me, there can't be a worse curse than poverty or disease or conflict. If I have the means, and these are the means, how can I fail to actually resolve these problems? Of course, people will say, no, it brings in corruption, it brings in complacency, it brings in all kinds of things. People fail to manage this. Well, this is a problem, yes, but we should be able to address it.
And you found a new way, in fact, to deal with it. Rather than addressing poverty, you created opportunities, and I think that's what Africa needs to understand.
Absolutely. It's creating opportunities and putting out everybody there at the same level with the other, to exercise their talent fully, and they will do it. Just give all these people you see around an opportunity. They express themselves in all kinds of different ways that will give them what they want, and that you also what you want.
As an African, as a leader of this country, as a Rwandan, how do you feel that, the French, the Westerners still believe that it's their God-given right to keep judging Africans? How do you feel about it? How does this make you feel?
I feel bad about it. I actually don't put up with it. In everyday life, I want to challenge it. But I want to challenge it in a way I think that has to be understood. You see, first of all, here I don't see what Rwandans cannot do that others do, and why. That's why I started saying our people need to have confidence that they can do what they need to do in order for them to make the kind of change and progress they want. But at the same time, I want to be careful by actually we also doing what is not questionable. I want to challenge these people to say, no, you cannot be the standard. You cannot set the standard for us that we must be like you, because nobody wants to be like you. We want to be who we are.
Exactly.
But we want to be better people. We want to be people who are improved in our standard of living, in our prosperity and everything, but retaining who we are. We cannot struggle to become other people. But I cannot refuse that, just that, and then not do what actually disproves their argument. I must be doing things here in Rwanda.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is right. That is not questionable, that I can justify, that I can defend and say, no. What are you talking about? Are you talking about governance? This is the kind of governance that Rwandans want, that befits them, and there is nothing wrong with it. We can't go into this argument. But I cannot keep saying, you West, you shut up, don't tell us this, don't tell us what to do, and then at the same time, if they are talking about corruption, then corruption is rampant all around.
You have to have the moral rights.
The moral right has to be created.
Yeah.
So you cannot do one and not do the other if you want, in the end, to win the argument.
In other words, what you're saying, that it's us Africans who've allowed ourselves to be disrespected by the outsiders.
No doubt about that. I think we create all grounds for that disrespect. And when we want to fight back, we fight back from a weak position. The best way to fight back, the best way to assert yourself is to be in a proper position, to be doing what is right, that you can defend, that cannot be questioned by the other. And also be able to question what they do that may actually not be right in your viewpoint.
And finally, I know you've got to go, Mr. President.
Yes.
What would you say are the challenges for Rwanda to have another 17 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years of peace?
I think we have laid a really good foundation for peace for a long time. And I'm saying this confidently on the basis that most Rwandans, if not all, have bought into this project of seeing long term, what we need to achieve and how to defend and protect that. And they are, above all, they are part of it. Peace is essential, so that within that peaceful environment, people are able to express themselves, to do things that take them from one level of standard of living to another.
Absolutely.
So to our people, the message is clear, and increasingly it gets clear, and we have to just keep pushing ahead and looking long term. It's not something for 1 year, 5 years. We look at Rwanda 20 years ahead, 30 years ahead, and so on.
Mr. President, what would you say these boys represent in terms of the reconciliation that has taken place in this country?
These boys, these footballers, represent the nation coming together, irrespective of the diversity in our society. It brings together all people, irrespective of their background, religion, ethnicity, whatever. Different kinds of talents and different levels of talent. So the expression cannot be put better of how the country comes together than through this team, the under-17. So this is a very good expression for me to say we want to leave poverty behind us. We want to leave any kind of conflict behind us. We want to leave disease behind us. We want to prosper. We want to move on. And as a nation, so through different activities of interaction, business, politics, and so on, we express ourselves in different ways, but we come together as a nation, and we win together as a nation.
And you're so right. It's interesting because when I spoke to them, I didn't want to be accused as someone who is doing a propaganda film for Rwanda. I have no reason to. It's because I respect what you've achieved as a nation here. But I wanted to test some of the theories. I did ask them, you know, and basically, as young as they are, 16, 17, they were so switched on to say, look, we're not Hutus, we're not Tutsis. So as we're concerned, we are Rwandans, period. And, you know, at this stage, for them to have this mentality, this mindset to think this way, I think it represents the hard work that the leadership has done in this country.
Absolutely, it is very important. It's very important that young people like this believe it, and they believe it. When they told you that, it's because they believe it.
No, not because they're spoon-fed at all.
Absolutely. No. And I'm sure maybe even for those one or two, if there would be anybody who may not believe it, starts believing it as they go along with their sporting activities. Yes, that's the beauty of it. And outside this team, that's how other Rwandans feel too. Maybe you should have an opportunity to move around in the city or in the countryside.
It's true.
Yes, go to the rural areas, and there should be no government official or anybody. Just ask one individual you don't know on the roadside. They probably tell you the same.
It's true. I did another program here about the refugees who are returning to Lake Kivu. I went to them. Same. So I don't think I have to tell you. People must have told you. No matter what other people say who have agendas, I think you have to be proud of what you've achieved there, Mr. President.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And I'm really proud of my people and what we've done together. And I owe whatever praise I get from them. I really owe it to them because in the end they are the ones who define the success. I may take it to them, have suggestions for them, and we express it, we discuss it, but for them to do things, really most of the time depends on them rather than me.
I can't wait to one day read your book that will help give other African leaders the recipe for this success.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm one of those Africans who want success for Africa, and I want to start from home. I want to do as much as I can here at home. If we succeed and continue to make the progress we are making, I think it's also a message. It tells other Africans, well, it's like if Rwanda can succeed,
absolutely,
who can't?
Absolutely.
Maybe all of us can succeed. That's
absolutely
fine. That's fine.